In this video, I want to talk about Twitter and how you can use it for marketing purposes. First of all, a bit of background about Twitter. Twitter is both an online social media site and a smartphone app. And Twitter users send short messages called tweets, and these are limited to 140 characters. Anyone can read tweets, but only registered users can post them. And people who are following a particular Twitter user get notified every time that person posts a tweet. They can then forward it on to their followers, and this is known as a retweet. Other users can also be quoted in a Twitter tweet by using the @ symbol, the A in a circle there. And topics on Twitter can be grouped together using hashtags, which is the number sign that you often find on a telephone keyboard. And when a topic is popular and being retweeted a lot, it's said to be trending. And Twitter is great for business to business to consumer, and consumer to consumer communications. And both individuals and corporations can have Twitter accounts, and it's a great way to stay in touch with customers and clients. And Twitter's reach spans the globe. As you can see, it's available in most countries throughout the world. There are some that you can't penetrate with Twitter. China doesn't like Twitter very much, and also some countries in sub-Saharan Africa where the internet and mobile phone networks aren't very well established. You can't get Twitter there. But most other countries, most of the other major countries in the world, major economies in Europe, North and South America, Australia, and so on, can access Twitter. So you have quite a wide reach. And Twitter is sometimes called the pulse of the planet because people can tweet their reactions to events very quickly. And you can also get instant feedback this way. And if you think about it, when you've only got 140 characters, then you're forced to be very concise in your messaging. So you have to get what you want to say down to 140 characters. So you have to be very specific and to the point. So there can't be any waffle or anything in a Twitter tweet. But also, a Twitter tweet being so short is very easy and very quick to read. So people are going to read your tweet in its entirety because it's not very long. Whereas with, say, a blog post, then it's going to take a while to write and it's going to take a long time to read. And sometimes people get bored and click away. But with a tweet, obviously that's not going to happen. And Twitter is popular with business leaders, it's popular with celebrities, and it's popular with politicians because, of course, you can communicate directly with your customers, directly with your fans, directly with the voters. It doesn't have to go through any middlemen or any other stages. It's just straight to the recipient on Twitter, and that is very, very powerful. And here we can see some famous people's Twitter accounts. We've got Bill Gates, Lindsay Lohan, and President Barack Obama. Now, if you're going to use Twitter for marketing purposes, it works best when you don't try to be too salesy. If you try to send Twitter tweets that are, buy my product and the URL, then you'll find that people will turn away from it quite quickly. What you need to do is to use it in conjunction with other social media. So use it in conjunction with things like Facebook, with YouTube videos, with postings that you have on your blog. It's a good way of drawing people's attention to posts that you have on your blog as well. And basically, when you're using it for marketing, use it to maintain a rapport with your customers and your potential customers, and frankly, you can't go wrong. And you can sign up for Twitter here at twitter.com. Just enter your name, email address, and password in the box here, and click the button here that says sign up for Twitter, and then follow the on-screen instructions is actually very simple. In this video, I'm going to talk a bit about Instagram and how you can use it for marketing purposes. Before I do that, let me give you some background to Instagram. Instagram is a photo sharing smartphone app, and it enables you to share photos on social media sites such as Facebook, Tumblr, Flickr, and Twitter. And it's particularly popular with Twitter users because you can include the URL to your photograph in a Twitter tweet. And it also uses hashtags in a similar way to Twitter. Now, let me give you some background here. Instagram launched in October 2010, and it was acquired by Facebook in 2012 for $1 billion. Over 300 million users access the site every month, and that was by December 2014, the last time that they published the stats. And it's estimated that over 58 photographs are uploaded and one new user signs up every second. So you can see that it is a rapidly growing site and one that you can use to reach a massive audience. And you can add tags to your photos and images. Like I was saying earlier, you can use the hashtag symbol, and it works in a similar way to hashtags on Twitter. So, for example, if you were to take this photo and upload it to Instagram, you could have the hashtag hiking trail, hashtag Mount Tamalpais, and hashtag tired. You can also tag people using the @ symbol, again, just like on Twitter. And you could also tag users in the picture themselves, like on Facebook. Instagram also has the ability to message photos with Instagram Direct. So you can send someone a private message as a photo. And it's also possible for users to follow accounts just like you do on Twitter. Now, Instagram is a fantastic way to promote products and services. You can use it to increase your brand's visibility. And of course, you can position yourself as a hip and artistic organization. Another thing that you can do using Instagram is location tagging. You can take a photo and then you can log the location where that photograph was taken so that people can find it and they can go to the exact same spot. Now, of course, this is great for bricks and mortar businesses. So, for example, you could take a photo of a store if you run a retail store, and you can then location tag it so that people can find where that store is using their smartphones. It's good for off-site services. So let's say, for example, you have a company that lays driveways. What you can do is, after the driveway is all laid down and finished, you can take a photo of it, upload it to Instagram with a location tag, and you can get people to come by and take a look at the quality of your work and hopefully buy a driveway from you. And of course, if you exhibit at a trade show or an exhibition or an event, then you can geotag a picture of your stand, and you can get people to find you at a trade show very easily that way. You can also use local hashtags on Instagram, and this can be very powerful. And what you should do is search for local hashtags regularly, and be sure to add your photos to that particular hashtag. And this works well for tourist attractions as well as places like restaurants and retail stores and that sort of thing. So if you have a local audience, if you cater to a local fan base or you have a local customer base, then making sure that you tie yourself into some of these local hashtags can be very good for you, because it can get people who are looking in a particular area to find your business. It's also good for real world networking. You know, if you have a retail store and people come in, let's say you run a hair salon or something like that, you could ask customers to follow you. You could take a photo of yourself a selfie with a customer and then tag them in it. Like I was saying earlier, if you run a hair salon, you take a photo of someone with their new haircut and tag them in it. And then, of course, this gives customers a great reason to follow you too, because there's a sort of degree of reciprocity in all this. If you tag someone in your photo, then quite often they'll tag you in theirs, and that introduces you to their fan base. And you can sign up online at Instagram.com, or what you can do is you can download the app from the Apple App Store, or you can get it on Google Play. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how you can get the most from hashtags. Now, hashtags are used on most social media sites, but chiefly on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And they're used to group together posts, pictures, and tweets by subject. And they're a sort of metadata tag. And they're particularly useful for coordinating activity on Twitter and Instagram. Okay, a few simple rules for writing hashtags. First of all, in a hashtag, the hash symbol directly precedes the word or phrase. Don't put a space after the hashtag symbol, otherwise it won't work properly. Secondly, a hashtag needs to be written as a single word without spaces. Thirdly, while you can use a number in a hashtag, typically punctuation and special characters won't work, so just alphanumeric characters only. And finally, hashtags can be placed anywhere in a post. They can be at the beginning, the middle, or the end of a tweet or an update. Now, when deciding on a hashtag, you want to make sure that, first of all, it's relevant to the subject that you're going to be tagging. And secondly, you want to make sure that it's going to be memorable. It's going to be something that sticks in people's minds so that they remember to look for it. What you should do is check to see if a hashtag is already in use for a particular topic before you coin your own. And if there is already a hashtag, then you should use it, because it'll make your contribution easier to find and follow. And quite often, particularly on Twitter, you'll find that once a subject comes up, once it starts being noticed, there'll be all sorts of different hashtags related to that particular topic. But after a while, one of those hashtags will become the dominant one. That's the one that people start looking for. That's the one that starts trending. And so that's the one that you want to hashtag your contribution with, because, as I said, it's going to make it easier for people to find and follow. Now, on Twitter, individuals can see a 100% increase in engagement by using hashtags. Brands can see a 50% increase. And tweets with one or more hashtags are 55% more likely to be retweeted. And this is according to Twitter's own research. But, and there always is a downside, tweets with more than 2 hashtags show a drop in engagement by an average of 17%. And advertising tweets without a hashtag, an at or mention, generate 23% more clicks. So if you are going to be having an advertising tweet, it's best not to have a hashtag or a mention, because that does actually, perversely in some ways, make it more clickable. Twitter actually has a very good section on their blog which explains how to choose a hashtag. It's been up there for a couple of years now, but it is still relevant. And if you want to read it, you go to blog.twitter.com/2013/how-to-hashtag. On Instagram, Highest engagements come from posts with more than 11 hashtags. So when it comes to tagging your photos on Instagram, the more the merrier. Think of every hashtag that you can think of that describes your picture and put it on there. Look for hashtags that are starting to trend that are of a similar subject to your photo, and you can't go wrong. So in a complete contrast to Twitter, really, whereas with Twitter, less is more. On Instagram, more is more when it comes to hashtags. Now, the most liked Instagram hashtags are these ones: follow for follow, like for like, follow for with the number follow, L for L, F for F, TFLers, follow back, tags for like, follow me, and follow. The least liked Instagram hashtags were repost, NYE, drunk, love her, truth, Super Bowl, I love him, I love you, I love them, and best friends. So these are the sort of hashtags that you want to avoid if you're going to hashtag something on Instagram. On Facebook, hashtags can do more harm than good. Posts with only a few hashtags outperform those with lots of hashtags. So if you do want to use hashtags on Facebook, don't use more than 2. There are a couple of services which you can use to help keep track of hashtags and to analyze them and so on. They're both paid for services, but they are certainly worth the money. The first one is Keyhole, which you can find here at keyhole.co. And the other one here is hashtags.org. And as it says here, it's hashtag analytics for your brand, business, product, service, event, or blogs. And it gives you a lot of information about each service here on the site. In this video, I want to give you a quick overview about using Facebook for marketing purposes. First of all, though, a bit of background about Facebook. Facebook is the granddaddy of social media sites. It was founded in 2004, and it was one of the first social media companies to float on the stock market. And Facebook's reach straddles the globe. In fact, most developed countries have access to Facebook, notable exceptions being the former Soviet countries where they use the Cyrillic alphabet, China, which of course doesn't like social media, particularly Facebook, all that much, and some countries in sub-Saharan Africa where they don't have very well-established internet or telecommunications networks. But for most of the world, North and South America, Europe, Middle East, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Australia, they are covered by Facebook, and you can reach people in those countries through Facebook. Now, here's some facts about Facebook. Facebook is the second biggest website on the net. And if Facebook were a country, it would be one of the largest in the world. Facebook has 1.44 billion active monthly users, and at least 72% of users check in every month. And 680 million people use it every single day. So as you can see, it is a massive site with massive reach. Now, those users are not just active on Facebook. They're engaging and they're taking part. And they're sitting on the site for long periods of time. Now, this is pretty much the perfect storm for marketers looking for somewhere to access a large number of people. And it's good for both business to business and business to consumer communication. There are 2 ways of promoting your business, brand, product, or service on Facebook. The first way is organically via a Facebook page, and the second is via pay-per-click Facebook ads. And both should form part of any marketing strategy on Facebook. Let's look at organic traffic first. Creating a Facebook page is very similar to creating a profile page for yourself personally, and you have many of the same elements. You have information, you have a profile picture, and you have a cover image. And if we look here, you can see a Facebook page for a fictitious coffee shop. You can see that they've got their logo prominently displayed. They've got a nice background image. They've got their friends and fans. They've also got information about their locations. They've got videos. They've got photos. And they've also got likes. And likes are very important. Because you see, when somebody likes your post or page, all their friends on Facebook will know about it. And to them, this might seem almost as though that person, the person who's liked your page, is advocating your brand. And this is the social influence factor, because if you see that your friend has liked a company or a brand, you'll be much more inclined to like that brand yourself or to potentially trust them in future when you need their services. And this is powerful stuff. Facebook ads, on the other hand, work in a similar way to Google AdWords, and that is a pay-per-click or PPC method. And this works, as the name would imply, you pay for every click. So you pay a fee every time someone clicks on your ad. And the more you're prepared to pay, the more prominently and more often your ad gets shown. Unlike AdWords, though, Facebook ads let you define your audience strategically and with a very narrow focus. And this is because Facebook gives you access to huge amounts of information about each member. Users will typically share details such as their age, their profession, their hobbies, their interests, their marital status, their location, and a lot more. And this gives you the ability to pick exactly who you want to see your ads. Would you rather that your ads were seen by teenagers, or would you rather they were seen by women based in a specific city who were engaged? And this is going to depend on the sort of product. So let's say, for example, you are promoting a boy band that's aimed at teenagers. You would be able to drill down and make sure that your ad was only seen by teenagers and specifically by teenage girls. On the other hand, if you ran a bricks and mortar store selling wedding dresses, you would only want women who were engaged to view that ad and to click on it and to go to the page for your store. And with Facebook ads, you can do that. In both cases, 40-year-old guys in another city really wouldn't be interested in either of these ads, so they wouldn't see them. Whereas if you were to have an ad on Google AdWords, for example, everybody who looks for that particular keyword when they're doing a search or goes to a page that's got Google AdSense on it that's similarly related would see it, and that those people or that guy would not really be interested in what you were selling. So that would be a waste of your money. But of course, when you've got Facebook, when you can drill down so that only specific people who are going to be interested in your product or in your service actually see that ad, then it's going to be a lot more productive. Facebook also lets you set goals for your ad. And the options they give you are fairly wide-ranging and comprehensive. And these include improving engagements of a post, getting more likes for your Facebook page, getting more clicks or leads for your website, getting more installs for a mobile or Facebook app, and promoting your event or offer. Now, this way, you drastically reduce the amount of people clicking on your ads who aren't likely to take the type of action that you want. And you ensure that all of your money is being spent on worthwhile and useful advertising. And Facebook ads work best when you combine them into a single broad strategy and maintain synergy with your other marketing activities too. So if you use Facebook ads in conjunction with a Facebook page to get more involvement, to get more likes, then the two can work together hand in hand. To create a page on Facebook, it's very simple. Simply log into Facebook, click on the create a page link, which you'll find down on the left-hand side of the page, and then you can choose the type of page that you want depending on what you're making the page for. So it can be for a local business or place, company, organization or institution, brand or product, artist, band or public figure, entertainment, cause or community. So choose your category, click on the icon, and then follow the on-screen instructions. What the exact procedure is going to be is going to vary depending on the type of Facebook page that you're creating, but the on-screen instructions are fairly straightforward and comprehensive.